Everyone, welcome back. And this is another anime review. As you can see here, I'm trying to kick out a lot of these anime that I've been watching for the fall of 2013 and the winter of 2014 that have ended. This one is Gundam Build Fighters, and it's kind of interesting with me when it comes to Gundam Build Fighters because it's the only Gundam series I've ever watched all the way through. I've watched a lot of Gundam, like, random episodes on, like, TV, you know, years ago. It's been fucking years. Or maybe, like, random clips that people have shown me. But never actually an entire series all the way through. And I know this isn't really meant to be taken seriously. It's a marketing ploy, alright? It's a toy commercial in the form of 25 episodes. It's a 25 episode toy commercial is what it is. So I know it's not meant to be taken seriously, but I still enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it so much that I may be checking out some other Gundam series in the near future. As well as one that I believe is going to be starting to air in the summer of this year, so yeah, I might check that out weekly. But, in fact, I probably will. But, anyways though, Gundam Build Fighters was very interesting because the story is simple. You know, back in the 1980s, the success of the series Mobile Suit Gundam, which I think it was actually in the 70s, but whatever, resulted in an economic boom due to sales of the Gundam model kits, or Gunpla, dubbed the Gunpla Boom. Years later in the future, with the success of the second Gunpla Boom, special tournaments called Gunpla Battles are established throughout the world to see which customized Gunpla and its builder are the best. These incredibly popular Gunpla battles culminate in an annual global tournament. The story revolves around Sei Iori, a young Gunpla builder and student who has a dream of becoming the best Gunpla fighter in the tournament and someday becoming as good as his father was. As the only child, his family owns a small Gunpla shop and his talent is well honed. However, his weak piloting abilities have led him to a series of first-round losses. But one day, he meets a strange boy named Reiji, who helps him out. Reiji gives him a jewel, promising that he will come to Sei's aid if he wished enough. Together, both of them will tackle the world of Gunpla battle and complete in the tournament using Sei's customized Gunpla, the GAT X105B. I'm not sure if that's actually how it's said. Build Strike Gundam. Now, it's really interesting because Gunpla battle works like you have these like Gunpla models that the wielders build themselves, or in Sei's case, Sei built it because he's really good with building it, but Reiji always pilots it. But either way, they have these models, and they put these models in these like machine type things, and then the machine unleashes what they call a particle dispersal, which creates like a holographic battleground and whatnot for them to battle in. And they're not actually, and the Gunpla end up sending holographic projections of the real life Gundams, and then they're in these machines and they pilot them and battle them. So it was actually really interesting and clever how they actually worked that out. Also, I'm not sure if all of the Gunpla are, but a lot of them are actually Gundam, I guess, from previous Gundam series, which was also really interesting to learn. So if you're a hardcore Gundam fan, which I am not, because again, this is the first series I've actually watched all the way through when it comes to Gundam, but if you're a hardcore like Gundam fan, this is your wet dream, alright? If you love Gundam, you know, if you love everything Gundam, or if you even love like some of the most popular ones that are Gundam, because there's lots of ones that people don't like, this is basically your wet dream. Alright. The series was directed by Kenji Nagasaki and produced by Masakazu Ogawa and Makoto Shiraishi. And it's written by Yosuke Kuroda, and the music's by Yuki Hayashi, and it's by Studio Sunrise. Of course, those are the Gundam people. And it originally ran from October 7th, 2013 to March 31st, 2014 with a total of 25 episodes. So, yeah. Now, as for the story, like I said before, there's not really a whole lot to talk about with the actual story. It's pretty standard, and like I said before, it's just a 25 episode toy commercial for Gundam. That's really what it is. No more, no less. So, although there were some really weird things with the plot, though, that I don't understand why they incorporated in there, like Reiji, whose real name is Arya von Reiji Asuna, is apparently a person from a different world called, oh god, what's, hold on a sec here, from Austria, or Arsta, or wait, he's from some sort of different world, though. Alright. And it's really weird, like, apparently, like, the main, like, businessman who serves as the main, enemy, not in terms of Gunpla battle, but in terms of hiring out a lot of these Gunpla battlers, is also from that world. And I don't know why they incorporated something like that into the series. I mean, maybe they figured that since it's anime, they wanted to incorporate some sort of a supernatural twist, but it just felt really out of place in the series. Not necessarily because it's Gundam, but because what this series is supposed to do. The series is supposed to sell toys. I mean, that's the whole purpose of this series. So, I don't know why they would incorporate something like that there. And Reggie himself is a cool character, but I don't know why they would incorporate something like that into the series. So I didn't really like that too much. But Reggie himself is a pretty cool character. He's pretty funny. I enjoyed watching him. And same thing goes with Sei. Alright, Rinko Iori is Sei's mother. Takeshi Iori is Sei's father, who we, don't really get to see a whole lot. He comes in to play like mid to late the middle to end of the series, but we don't really get to see him a lot, so I don't have much of an opinion on him. Alright. And other characters like Mr. Rolf, who I also don't have much of an opinion on. He's basically just there to fucking narrate battles. Other characters are kind of cooler. China Kosuka, who is Sei's classmate, and later on she does get a little bit into Gunpla battle, although not too much. Like, she's never in any major battles, I don't think, but she's also Sei's love interest. There's Tatsuya Yuki, who is the president of the student council and captain of the model building club. And also the third, I think it was, Meijin, which the Meijin's like a title that's passed down from person to person as like one of the best, if not the best, Gunpla builder and battler ever. Alright, and there's lots of other characters whom I can't even remember some of their names, although there was Riccardo Fellini, who was one of my favorite characters. He's like this Italian Gunpla battle champion who ends up coming to the internationals because of how good he is. There's Mao Yasaka, who is a Gunpla fighter from Kyoto and the reigning Japan 5th block champion, so he's the champion from Japan. There's Niels Nielsen, who is a 13-year-old American Gunpla fighter and the reigning American Gunpla champion. And there's Aila Jirikian, who is a Gunpla fighter from Finland who was originally from the Falana Institute. She was once a homeless orphan, but then this dickweed businessman took her in and forced her to play Gunpla battle, even though at first she didn't like it, or he'd throw her back on the street again, although by the end of the series I think she really did start to actually really like it. So we got one from Finland. I think that's it. There's of course Sei, which I'm not exactly sure how. I don't remember how they exactly put Sei in there because he's obviously from Japan, but Neil or what is it? Uh, Mao Yasaka was the Japan reigning champion. Excuse me. Yeah, it's really weird. It's really interesting how they set up the series. And another way too, though, is that there's actually an entire school dedicated to Gunpla, run by this old fucking man. Mao Yasaka actually went there and was trained under him personally. So I think it's really funny how there's this series has an entire fucking school that's dedicated to Gunpla battle. Alright, kind of. It's set up as kind of like, I guess you could say, like a stereotypical ninja or samurai school or some sort of a Japanese school and like that. But it's for Gunpla battle. I don't know. It was really weird, but I thought it was really funny though. Alright, so it's really all I have to say about the characters. All the characters were pretty stereotypical, but they still worked for this type of a series. And again, like I always say, I don't care if characters are generic or not. I just care how they're handled. So, and they were handled, I thought, fairly well. But again, that whole stuff with the other world and stuff could have just been kept out of it, and the series would not have lost anything. In fact, it probably would have gained something, you know. So, yeah. Anyways, though, now let's talk about the animation. This is a mech series by Sunrise, so it should come to as no surprise that the animation is fucking amazing. Really, it really is. Like, there are scenes with limited animation in certain areas, like just the general boring talking scenes, which there are a lot of in the series. Another thing I do criticize it about is there's way too many scenes in the series with just talking that don't really need to be there. Like, I felt this series could have done with a lot of the talking during battles, you know, or at least with a bit better animation. But the battles have incredible fucking animation. Like, really, they do. And the art was pretty good as well. Now, the music is amazing. Not really any tracks except for, like, the main battle theme that really sticks out to me afterwards. Both of the endings were pretty good. The second opening was pretty decent, but the first opening I thought was fucking amazing. Oh god, I still remember that now. I fucking loved it. I love J-pop. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I love J-pop, but that song. But anyways, though, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about the series, though. Gundam Build Fighters was definitely an interesting series. I'm not interested in the sense that it was unique, because it definitely wasn't. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was nice for me to finally be able to see an entire Gundam series all the way through. And I look forward to watching more Gundam in the future because I really enjoyed this. And considering that this series wasn't meant to be taken seriously, I definitely want to watch a Gundam series in the future that is meant to be taken seriously, if you know what I mean. So yes, but anyways, overall, hope you enjoyed this review, guys. See you after, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.